One of the biggest attractions on Pawn Stars was the introduction of a rotating crew of experts and guests who brought some authenticity to the claims on the show. Among those experts, one person who stood out was Rebecca Romney, the rare book specialist whose sharp insights and engaging presence quickly made fans of the show fall in love with her. But after a number of seasons and loads of appearances, she suddenly disappeared from the show, leaving many fans very confused, which raised questions about what happened to her. Many theories have popped up about why she decided to leave. But was it her decision, or was there something else going on behind the camera? Let's uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearance of Rebecca Romney from Pawn Stars, and stay with us as we explore what she has been up to since she left the spotlight. When History Channel launched the show Pawn Stars in 2009, it garnered millions of fans who enjoyed every episode of the everyday pawnshop business that had become one of the most popular television shows on TV. While fans have an idea of the backgrounds of the family of Harrisons that owned the shop and played a major role in the show, there was very little information about their guest experts. And it wasn't much of an issue until some of these guest experts managed to leave a lasting impression. One of those was Rebecca Romney. The audience quickly grew more attached to her after she repeatedly used her knowledge of rare and vintage books to save the day for the shop employees, the shop itself, and its customers. It wasn't long before fans wanted to know more about their favorite guest star. After some investigation, it was known that Rebecca was born and raised in the Las Vegas area. Even though she always had a passion for books, her first job was actually as a swimming instructor. By her own account, she got into the rare book trade completely by accident. In high school, she began studying French and Japanese. Later, during college, she added ancient Greek and Latin to her list of languages. She earned a degree in classical studies and linguistics. Despite this strong academic background, it wasn't directly related to the world of rare books. Her journey into the rare book business began in the mid-2000s when she started working for Bauman Rare Books in Las Vegas. The company had just opened a new location there, giving her access to a wide variety of rare books, manuscripts, and historical documents. Opportunities like this would have been hard to find elsewhere. Rebecca shared during a Quanda session, "The real support behind what I do is the company I work for, Bauman Rare Books. They've been around for decades and are based in Philadelphia and New York. We have a team that works full-time just buying books. I manage the Las Vegas gallery, and that's my real job. Selling rare books. I don't do outside consulting. Managing the store keeps me busy enough." In only a few years, Rebecca was promoted to gallery manager. By the time Pawn Stars producers reached out, she was already well established in her role. Rebecca made history as one of the few female experts on the show. Her calm, intelligent approach, sharp eye for detail, and deep knowledge of literature made her stand out, not just from other experts, but from the main cast as well. While her full name is Rebecca Angeline Engeet, she keeps her personal life very private. She rarely shares anything about her family or where she currently lives. Still, her career speaks for itself. Her path may have started with an unrelated degree and an accidental first step into rare books, but her dedication pushed her forward. To grow her knowledge, Rebecca even attended a rare book school, which helped her advance from salesperson to gallery manager, and eventually to senior director at Bauman Rare Books, all in a relatively short time. Her unique expertise and presence on Pawn Stars made her unforgettable. Unlike other recurring experts, she brought something different both in appearance and in the subject she specialized in. That's why fans still wonder what happened to her and where she is today. Rebecca first appeared on television during the 4th season of Pawn Stars, which aired in the early 2010s. From that moment, she became one of the show's most frequently featured guest experts. Her appearances left a lasting impact on viewers, continuing until her final episode in the mid-2010s. But her role went beyond simply evaluating old books that were brought into the shop. To understand how she became part of Pawn Stars, we need to look at how the show initially worked. Filmed in Las Vegas, the show followed real people bringing in rare or unusual items to the gold and silver pawn shop for appraisal or sale. Jewelry remained the most common item brought in, but the show gained popularity for its focus on unique historical items. Each episode often included background information about these objects, usually explained by Rick or his father. But sometimes Rick and the team couldn't confidently assess an item. When this happened, they would bring in outside experts to help evaluate its authenticity and value. This approach gave the show more credibility and made the shop look more professional. It also helped viewers trust the process they were seeing on screen. Experts would even consider repair costs when giving final estimates. This is where Rebecca came in. Although many guest experts appeared on the show, Rebecca stood out. She wasn't just knowledgeable. She also had an on-camera presence that worked perfectly with the show's format. And part of the reason her role clicked so well was that she already had a personal connection with Rick Harrison. They knew each other before she ever stepped in front of the camera. Yes, before the show became a thing, these two already knew each other, and after that, it only brought them closer. She explained, "We are actually friends, we've double dated and such, but that actually happened after we spent time together from filming the show." She added, "I actually do sometimes do behind-the-scenes consulting for Rick, but for the most part I come in for a filming, which can be as often as 3x per week, or as little as once a month. Depends on when they find a book they actually want to film with. And when such a book has been brought in, she gets informed of what the item is before filming starts. But she often doesn't get to see the item until she goes on set and the camera comes on. That meant her reactions and evaluations on screen were usually very real, adding to the authenticity that fans appreciated. But in the unpredictable world of show business, there are times when the item is not even what she was told. To deal with such a situation, Rebecca said, "For me, there are millions of books out there. I don't know the intricate information off the top of my head for every conceivable book, though I know a decent amount. Any specialist in such a field will tell you that knowing where to get authoritative information is also part of being an expert. So it is imperative I know something before going for the most part." This is despite the fact that Romney doesn't work for the show. As a guest expert, she is called ahead of time. According to her, she runs a gallery full-time and can't just drop everything to run over there whenever. She also revealed that she sometimes consulted for Rick behind the scenes. However, most of the time, her appearances were just for the episodes. Rebecca's journey on Pawn Stars wasn't accidental. It was built on a combination of real-life expertise, strong working relationships, and a natural fit for television. Her presence added credibility and depth to the show, making her one of the most memorable experts in its long history. Rebecca brought deep knowledge and insight to Pawn Stars, especially when it came to rare books, documents, and manuscripts. Her unique expertise added something special to the show, making her an important part of what made it so enjoyable. During her many years on the series, Rebecca became known for her skill in evaluating rare and valuable books, especially those made between the 15th and 20th centuries. Her careful and educated assessments showed she truly knew what she was talking about. However, because reality television can sometimes feel scripted, many fans wondered if her appearances on the show were real or staged. It was at a point when the show faced a huge controversy that threatened its continuity. There were allegations of the show being completely staged. A fan who was chosen to be an extra on the show once reported that the part he was in took almost an hour to shoot, and he claimed they reran several scenes. In his own words, "They brought that cool museum guy in to validate the piece. It didn't appear to be scripted very much, but they did reshoot a couple of the negotiations." The girl with the item decided not to sell it in the end. She didn't just walk in that day, but at the same time, no one seemed to have a script they were going by at all. Clearly, this fan confirmed the show wasn't staged, as some people claimed. The report given by this fan also clarified that sometimes, when the producers spot something worth broadcasting, they may tell the seller to come back at a different time since filming requires some planning. Then, when they come for the filming, there might be everyday people who have also simply come to buy things. Those people get scared because they are probably appearing on camera for the first time and may show signs of nervousness. Working with that could lead to several takes to get it right. In fact, producers have cut items from the show because the seller could not pull it together on camera, but it doesn't happen often. Another reasonable addition came from Brent Montgomery, an executive producer on the show, who explained that sellers were vetted before they came on Pawn Stars. Off camera, we have to make sure that these people will actually sell the stuff at a reasonable price. Otherwise, they're just trying to be on TV. We figured that out fairly quickly. Rebecca, too, lent her voice when her fans asked if the show was staged. They are still a functioning pawn shop. Yes, half the place is now devoted to swag, but they still do pawns and sales of other items. I've personally never been in an expert scene, that I know of, where the seller or the item was planted. That seemed to clear the allegations for most people. Besides all that, the show brought huge fame to its cast members, making them reality TV stars in addition to the financial rewards they were getting. Unfortunately for the cast of Pawn Stars, there were tragedies here and there. One of the fan favorites, Chumley, Corey Harrison's friend and fellow cast member, brought his own role of humor and interesting personality to the show, which made it more fun to watch. But he soon found himself in serious legal trouble as he was accused of sexual assault, and during a search of his home in relation to the case, they found multiple drugs as well as a firearm. He was arrested and faced 19 counts of drug-related charges and 1 weapon charge. His bail was set at over $60,000, but months after his arrest, the Pawn Stars star reached a plea deal with prosecutors. The deal had saved him from going to jail, and it was made easier, thanks to the fact that the sexual assault accusation against him had no evidence, even after a thorough investigation into the allegations. 2 years later, and 10 years into Pawn Stars, Old Man Richard tragically died at age 77 after living with Parkinson's disease for a period of time. 5 years after his grandfather's death, Corey Harrison got himself into legal trouble. He was arrested for DUI in the early hours of September 8, 2023, when his Ford truck swerved from the right-hand lane into the bicycle lane. After authorities pulled him over, it was reported that Corey had bloodshot, watery, droopy eyes and smelled of alcohol, and tested positive after a field sobriety test was conducted. But all that seemed like nothing when Rick had to deal with a second tragedy after losing Corey's brother, Adam Harrison. According to a police report, Adam Harrison was found dead in a guest home in mid-January 2024. The report stated that no one had seen Adam for a couple of days, forcing the landlord to go and check Adam's guest home, where they found him unresponsive. All these unfortunate events made fans afraid for other members of Pawn Stars, including Rebecca, who had become less frequent on the show. Her final appearance on the show was in an episode called Field Trip, which aired during the 9th season in the year 2014. After that, she disappeared from the show without warning. Naturally, this raised many questions among fans, especially since she was one of the most popular experts. What made it more puzzling was that neither Rebecca nor the producers ever gave a reason for her departure. This lack of information led to even more curiosity, rumors, and speculation. Some fans thought she may have been fired. Others wondered if there had been conflicts with other cast members. But the truth behind her departure still remains unclear, and people are left to guess what might have happened. Even though there was no official statement, there is one theory that makes sense. It seems likely that Rebecca left the show because of a career move. She reportedly left Bauman Rare Books in Las Vegas and took a new position with the company in their Philadelphia office. Since Pawn Stars is filmed in Las Vegas, the move would have made it hard for her to keep appearing on the show. This idea is supported by the timeline on her LinkedIn profile, which shows her job change happening around the same time she left the show. As for whether she still keeps in touch with the Pawn Stars cast, that's unclear. There's no public information about their current relationship. Although it's known that Rebecca and Rick Harrison were friends in real life, there have been no recent public sightings or signs that they're still in contact. Fans are still unsure about the current relationship between Rebecca and the cast of Pawn Stars. Rebecca's career at Bauman Rare Books had grown quickly. She was promoted to a higher position with more responsibility, and eventually became the senior director at Bauman Rare Books, working directly under the company's co-founder, Natalie Bauman. Her time as director at Bauman lasted until around the year 2016, when she made a major change. She left the company to join another rare book business called Honey and Wax. In late 2018, she wrote an online article where she shared some of her favorite books sold by Honey and Wax. These included a French edition of Edgar Allan Poe's work and a magazine called Black Orpheus. While her decision to leave Bauman was a big step, the exact reasons for it are still unclear. However, in the middle of the year 2019, she left Honey and Wax as well. In that case, the reason was more obvious. She wanted to focus on starting and running her own rare book business. That business is called Type Punch Matrix, based in Washington, D.C., where Rebecca now lives. The company is known for being thoughtful, inclusive, and focused on creating a unique and modern space in the rare book world. Even before starting her own company, Rebecca was involved in several independent projects from around 2016 to 2017. Her commitment to rare books guided every step of her journey. Rebecca co-hosted a podcast called Biblioclast with her husband, J.P. Romney. The podcast gave them a space to share their love for books, often diving into fun, lively discussions and sometimes even small disagreements about different literary topics. Even after she left Pawn Stars and moved on from her past jobs in the rare book trade, Rebecca's career in the world of rare books continued to grow. In the year 2019, she was featured in a well-known documentary called The Booksellers. This film explored the world of people who collect, sell, and preserve old and rare books. It was shown at several major international film festivals. Critics praised her part in the film. The magazine Variety even described her as the film's cheerful optimist of books. Rebecca continues to work actively on rare book projects. Through her business, Type Punch Matrix, her podcast, and other efforts, she remains a strong voice in the rare book community. Her passion for preserving and celebrating rare books and documents is a driving force in her life. She continues to inspire book lovers and collectors around the world with her knowledge and energy. When it comes to her personal life, Rebecca prefers to keep things private. Although she has social media accounts on platforms like Instagram and Twitter, she does not often share personal details online. One known part of her personal life is her marriage to J.P. Romney, a published author who wrote the book The Monster on the Road Is Me. According to a book-focused website called Fierce Reads, the couple has 2 children. It is no surprise that Rebecca herself is a published author too. She and her husband worked together to write a book called Printer's Errors. It's clear that both of them share a strong love for books, which likely helped bring them together in the first place. Their teamwork was praised by respected sources like the New York Times and the Washington Post, which complimented the book for being fun to read and easy to understand, even when explaining complex topics. Besides this co-authored book, Rebecca has written many articles for well-known websites and publications. She has shared her knowledge on the Bauman Rare Books blog, where she helped educate readers about rare and valuable books. Her writing has also appeared on popular sites like Crime Reads, Literary Hub, and Mental Floss, where she offered expert insights and captured the interest of readers with her deep understanding of literature. Rebecca has also worked behind the scenes in the literary world. She has taken part in editing projects and written introductions for other books. This shows how versatile she is and how deeply involved she is in different areas of writing and book research. Many people have wondered if Rebecca is related to the U.S. Senator Mitt Romney. The answer is yes, but only through marriage. Rebecca's husband, J.P. Romney, is part of the Romney political family. However, unlike other members of his family, J.P. has chosen a different path and has not entered politics. But Rebecca's talents go far beyond just books and writing. She also has an impressive ability to speak and understand several languages. She is fluent in French, Latin, Greek, and Japanese. On top of that, she is currently learning Old English, which is known to be very difficult. Her skill with languages helps her in her work by allowing her to read rare and antique books in their original language instead of relying on translations. This gives her a deeper and more accurate understanding of the books and their meaning. If you are a book lover like Rebecca, you might wonder what kinds of books she enjoys reading herself. Rebecca has a wide range of reading interests. She enjoys romance, science fiction, and fantasy. Recently, Rebecca appeared on the YouTube channel of Case Western Reserve University. In this appearance, she spoke about rare books and shared interesting facts about myths connected to old literary works. As for her current life, it seems Rebecca is exploring new paths, since she now lives in Philadelphia. Although many fans would love to see her return to the show, there is no sign that this will happen anytime soon. However, if you still want to enjoy her deep knowledge of rare books, there is good news. Rebecca often gives talks at universities and is featured on different podcasts. Through these public events and recordings, she continues to share her love for rare books with a wider audience. You can also follow Rebecca on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On these sites, she sometimes shares updates about her work, her business activities, and her favorite books. This allows her fans to stay connected and continue learning from her. Rebecca Romney's journey from Pawn Stars to starting her own rare book business shows how passionate and hardworking she is. While she may have stepped away from Pawn Stars, she never stepped away from her passion. Today, she remains a respected voice in her field, thoughtful, knowledgeable, and quietly influential. Whether through her company, public talks, or writing, Rebecca continues to bring rare books to life, her passion from day one.